All right, so got just a little bit under 2 minutes left before we start game number 2 between Downey Christian out of Florida and Minnesota Prep out of Minnesota. And Cullen, this is a couple of teams that I've seen quite a bit. I've seen Downey several times in the last few weeks, seen Minnesota Preps. This will probably be like the 6th or 7th time I've seen them. This is going to be a really interesting matchup because Minnesota Prep is one of the toughest, most physical teams on the grind session. Downey Christian isn't as physical. They prefer to, kind of get out there more of a finesse team. But I've seen them get pretty physical sometimes too. So be an interesting matchup here. This is a noon game. Now juices are flowing a little bit for the guys. Right. I think we'll see a little bit higher pace.
Yeah, I think in any sport, I think styles make the fight, right?
Right.
And so you just never know how it's going to pan out as far as that goes. And again, I think the size looks similar. Minnesota looks a little bigger, but we'll see how it goes. We like you said, you've seen Minnesota several times. They're scrappy, they're big, and they've got a little different style. They'll put their guard. The coach's son, Lukai, they'll put him in the post.
Yes,
you don't see that a lot as far as putting guards in the post at this level, but they're not afraid to do that. And so, again, styles make the fight, and of course we know that Downey's got some guards as well, and they'll shoot.
Yes, they have. Julian Newman has the green light as soon as he crosses half court.
Julian Newman, he'll let it fly from anywhere, and so it ought to be interesting.
All right. And that was the horn. Well, we'll give you projected starters right quick because it doesn't look like public announce is about to start. Or yes, he is. Yes, he is. We'll just go to public announce for the official starting lineups for both teams.
And 32, come on. Now for the Patriots of Downey Christian, for 3, Emmanuel Maldonado. For 11, Carlos Higgins. For 21, Eduardo Peralta. 35, Rohan Palmer-Smith. And for 200, Newton.
All right, so we're about ready for tip-off. The home team on the board is Downey Christian. They are in red, white, and blue. White is the dominant color, trimmed in white and red and blue. Minnesota Prep, visitors on the scoreboard in black, trimmed in white and silver. And just something to watch out for, Carlos Felix is ill. He's got the flu, but he's going to try to play anyway. That's number 11 for Downey Christian. He's probably their best playmaker. They run the offense through him quite a bit, and he's a wonderful passer. Got good size, about 6'4", but not sure how long or how effective Carlos is going to be this morning.
Well, I can't help but on Super Bowl Sunday or Super Bowl weekend notice the Patriots there for Downey. I'm a Rams fan, so I'm going against the Patriots, but I won't be going against the Patriots here.
And, yep, offensive foul. He put the shoulder down.
Good call. It's a good call.
That is his first foul, team first.
And that's a good job by Palmer Smith of taking that charge as well. It's a commitment to take that charge at this level, especially with big guys down there.
Stolen.
Yep.
Up and in. Aaron Moore for Minnesota Prep.
pass.
That was Eduardo Peralta. Tried to do the up and under, but he is
Peralta's an impressive
out of
guard,
bounds.
Leroy. He was very impressive in Marshall County a
Yes,
couple
he
weeks
was.
ago.
Yes, he was.
He shows no fear. He'll shoot it from anywhere as well.
Got good size. Minnesota Prep, the sister school of Tennessee Prep. Lukai Patterson into the front court. Richard Edwards, he kicks it out to Adrian Sprinkles. Back to Richard Edwards, to Lukai Patterson. Edwards, Decker flashes the lane, and it's good.
That's just good ball movement. Just good passing by Minnesota Prep. Move the ball against that zone. It forces the defense to rotate. We got another breakout.
Another steal for Minnesota Prep. No good. Moore with the tip. Lukai Patterson with an offensive rebound.
Ooh.
No look pass.
A little too much
And
heat.
yeah, a little bit too much heat. And
I
Richard Edwards just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, I thought
Wasn't looking for it.
I thought it was the right idea. Just a little too much heat on it. It's like a Cam Newton pass right there, if you ask me. Sorry about that, Cam,
But he does throw it with a lot of heat.
that's how I feel about him.
Julian Newman up front. Matthew Hill puts the shot up, no good. Rebound Amon Decker, and here comes Minnesota Prep in transition. Adrian Sprinkles thought about it, but didn't. Spins. Picks up his dribble. Lukai Patterson. Shot fake. Back to Adrian Sprinkles. And there are 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Man, they are putting some vinegar on
Yeah.
these passes right now.
Yeah, you know, the pass is there, but it's just not the right trajectory or the right speed, which is important, obviously.
Very important. Now, I know he was trying to thread the needle. He had to kind of get between a couple of
Right.
guys, but they weren't expecting the pass at that moment.
That's the thing. If the pass has to have that speed on it, then you can't throw it at that time because it's just too close. Not enough spacing.
Emmanuel Maldonado. Oh, that pivot foot slid. Ref missed it. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. I don't think Newman realizes it. He does not. He does not know that there's 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Wow.
He goes into the lane and he gets fouled. But
Well, that's
Cullen, he was totally unaware of the shot
well,
clock.
but that's where you have to be aware as a defender as well. You
Yep.
can't,
Yep.
you know, if on that particular shot, you let him go up with it. If he makes it, he makes it. But, you know, because that was a difficult shot. Instead, you bail him out with literally under a second to go on the shot clock. And that's a foul.
And Lukai
Jeez.
Patterson. Wow. Got his money's worth on that foul.
Of course.
Lukai with his first, and that is the third on Minnesota Prep. And I think we're about to see a theme. They're going to be very physical with Julian Newman. The word is he doesn't like physical play. And, hey, Minnesota Prep is physical anyway.
There's a deep three from Newman.
No good. Amon Decker with the rebound.
And the first thing I've noticed here early on is Minnesota Prep does have the size advantage. They're already killing the offensive glass. I think that'll be something we continue to see, but they are turning the ball over.
Poked away from behind by Maldonado. Basket good. Emmanuel Maldonado. His first basket of the afternoon for Downey Christian.
And I
4-2.
I'm sorry, I called him Peralta earlier. That's Maldonado was who I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as
Because I
far
thought, Peralta was solid. But,
Yeah.
Maldonado was outstanding.
Maldonado was the one hitting all the threes and,
Yep.
and very smooth in that game in Marshall County. So I take correction there.
And Maldonado is just a baby. He's a sophomore.
Right.
Floater
Nice.
in the lane by
Nice.
Maldonado on cue. He's got
Very-
all 4 points so
Yeah.
far for Downey Christian.
Very nice touch. There, when you get into that floater range, it's all about touch, and he's got it.
When Maldonado puts on about 20 pounds or so, he is going to be hell on wheels. Julian Newman, no good. Lukai Patterson forces his way into the paint. Aaron Moore is blocked. That shot was blocked by Martise Hill. And they are bouncing Julian Newman around even more than I thought they would. And travel by Amon Decker.
Well,
Julian Newman is going to have bruises. He's going to need to go to the
you know,
whirlpool.
this is where I don't know whether to speak on it. You know, some questionable call. I'll put it that way. Questionable calls going here early.
Or non-calls, shall we say.
Exactly. I thought Newman, that was a clear foul down there.
I thought so too.
Although it may not happen on the shot, when you take him to the floor, that's a foul. Just like if somebody was shooting a three-pointer and they get hit after the shot, they get that call. And then down here, a travel was called just because the rhythm of the steps was different. Doesn't mean that it was a travel. I thought that was a good play. 1-2 from, I can't remember who that was that shot that. I think it was Aaron Moore, I believe.
Yeah, Aaron Moore.
Kind of with somewhat of a Euro.
Bad pass, but it's picked up. And tray ball, no good by Newman. Offensive rebound up and in. Matthew Hill.
And Matthew Hill's got some springs there. He got up for that rebound.
And I said that was Martise Hill. Let me double check the number on 35, and I'll be right back, Cullen.
Again, Minnesota Prep really attacking that offensive glass. That's where they've been most effective here against Downey. Downey Christian out of Florida. Juwan Grant checks into the game for Minnesota Prep. Very solid guard. He will put the pressure on you defensively. He will knock down a corner three if you allow him, which he just did. So Juwan Grant immediately checks into the game and knocks down a three.
I had a total brain freeze, Cullen. I forgot 35 was Rohan Palmer-Smith. Stolen. Adrian Sprinkles hung on the rim, though. And Maldonado will take it the other way.
But you caught it right. It was Hill that got the rebound a minute ago. And so, there's your boy there back into the game.
Juwan Grant in transition to Adrian Sprinkles. Grant has been a fantastic addition to this Minnesota Prep lineup. Misses that three. Julian Newman with the rebound. Newman in transition, and he pulls it out into the lane. He dumps it, tried to dump it to Rohan Palmer-Smith. Palmer-Smith called for the offensive foul. That is the first foul on Rohan Palmer-Smith, second on Downey Christian. Minnesota Prep leading by 1, 7-6, 9:40 to go in the first half. Good ball movement by the Diplomat lines. Lukai Patterson into the lane. He scoops it up and in.
And that's where he's super effective.
Yes.
He's got great touch around the rim. He knows how to use his body.
And when he's downhill, he is a load.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to, it's like Jerome Bettis coming at you. You don't want to get in front of him and take that contact. So, I mean, he uses that to his advantage.
James Flippin in the game for Minnesota Prep with the rebound. That's Richard Edwards missed the first, and then I believe that's Adrian Sprinkles, yes.
Yeah, good follow by Sprinkles, and that's just what you got to do. For any kids watching, for anybody watching, you always follow up the shot.
Long three by Julian Newman.
Right over Grant, too. It was contested.
From another zip code. Lukai Patterson kicks it to Juwan Grant. Tray ball on the way. It looked good. Yes, it is. Grant with 6 quick points off the bench.
And that's what I was going to say. Instant offense for Grant. You put him in that corner and give him time, he's going to knock it down. Good pass.
Rohan Palmer-Smith to Maldonado. Emmanuel Maldonado short. Lukai Patterson with the rebound. And I think they're going to get Lukai for
That's two
that
on
one.
Patterson.
Yes, it is. 2 on Patterson, 4 on Minnesota Prep.
You notice when guys get called for that foul right there, they're always surprised. But
Always.
More than anything, I think they're surprised they got caught.
Yeah.
They know they fouled, but they get away with it so much with that. It's just a push in the back, and it's a timing push. You know, as soon as they're about to leap, you give them a little nudge, and it sends them forward instead of up.
And the foul on James Flippin, his first, team 5th.
Peralta, he's a load down there as well, and he's very fundamental as far as keeping the ball up.
Peralta makes the first. And he makes both.
And that's the other impressive thing about Lukai Patterson. The kid doesn't turn the ball over.
No, he does not.
I think that's probably his best asset. He doesn't turn it over. He's got good mid-range. And right there, just like we see a lot of that reach around, the attempt, reach around steal, and all he does, and there's Maldonado again from deep.
Manuel Maldonado, he's got 7.
Yeah, and when you can shoot it like these guys can, that three-point shot is the great equalizer.
Yes.
You know, you always hear that in basketball, and that's what it is. It can keep you in the game if you've got guys that can shoot it.
In the game for Downey Christian, number 14 is Wilfred Diaz. He's 12 in your program, but 14 today. Shot no good from three-point range by Lukai Patterson. Strong rebound by Eduardo Peralta for Downey Christian. Step back trade ball. No, it's a 2. Foot was on the line. Step back 2 for Julian Newman.
Well, what Newman does so well, and you know, he creates a lot of space with that step back and with that little hop step. He really understands that you create that space, now you've got space to shoot, and that's what he's so good at.
And then his trigger is so quick.
Yeah.
He just needs a little space, and he's good. Richard Edwards, no good. Eduardo Peralta with another strong rebound for the Patriots, and Newman throws away. They say it was touched by Minnesota Prep.
Oh, yeah, he got it tipped away right there.
It was tipped, okay.
Yeah. He was going down the floor there, and he had somebody right on his right side, and he had the ball in his right hand. And that's how that happens. But that's why his dad's upset with him right now. Is, you know, like, where's your vision right now? Where's your peripheral? I think he was probably thinking about letting it fly. Is probably what was going on.
Yes, definitely.
He was already in range. You know, he crossed half court.
That's right. I got the green light. Let me get ready.
Oh, man.
Newman. He is fouled by Aaron Moore. That is Moore's first, team 6th. It's an awful lot of ground to cover on one play. Emmanuel Maldonado.
I like
Steve
Maldonado,
right wing.
man.
Oh, I love him.
I like his
Stolen Aaron Moore. Amon Decker lays it up.
It never fails when I start to compliment somebody. It's a turnover curse, man.
Kiss of death. 18-16 Minnesota Prep. 5:57 left in the first half.
And I sense what Coach Newman wants right here. He wants him to run the play. He wants him to share the basketball, move the ball.
Yep.
He doesn't want just the one-on-one stuff. That's what he's looking at his son like, hey, look, man, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
So, you know, you like to see that from the coach is to get everyone involved, share the basketball, move the basketball, especially, I mean, you have to make the defense work, and that's the only way to make them work.
And if you're Minnesota Prep, the pace is probably to your liking. It's not necessarily slow, but it's not really helter-skelter. And the referees are letting them get physical.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're Minnesota Prep, you pretty much have to like what's going on right now.
Well, and in the grind session, that's just part of it. You're going to see that. You're going to see the physical play. This is to prepare these kids for college, and that physical game is what it's all about.
Knocked away by Flippin, picked up by Aaron Moore. Euro, layup. Oh, he missed the finger roll.
Great
Don't know how. Yeah.
Great footwork and everything to get there to the rim, just didn't complete. So now we're already in the 1-on-1 here with 5:43 left to go in the first half.
And foul is on Amon Decker. That is his second, team 7th.
And team fouls right now 7-2.
But that's
Well, I mean,
kind of like what I was talking about in the run-up to the game. You got a really physical team that loves to bump and grind, and Downey Christian is a little bit more of a finesse team.
Well,
and it's showing right now on the foul count.
And most of the time, what that's indicative of is a team that's really taking the ball to the basket. You know, when you've got a team that's attacking, they're going to draw more fouls than a team. Although Minnesota Prep's got most of their buckets down low.
Yep.
But they're getting most of their most of their putbacks unchallenged. So Downey's done a good job of really attacking Minnesota Prep and creating foul opportunities to get themselves in the bonus.
18-18 is our score. 5:38 to go in the first half. Minnesota Prep with the ball.
And not to mention that Downey has been in a zone, so that a lot of times, you don't get as many fouls that way, being in the zone rather than man-to-man. Good defense there. Oh, wow.
Long tray, and it's good. Newman is on today.
I mean, he's a good, honestly, he's a good 5 to 7 feet behind the line there.
Yeah,
I mean,
at least.
It's a very difficult shot. And I think that's kind of, why he is who he is, because he can make that shot. When you've got that type of range, that's just a level, the guys, you have to step out on it, and it's really difficult to defend.
Juwan Grant scored in the paint for Minnesota Prep, and then a missed opportunity there by Downey Christian. They just threw it away.
Well, again, Coach Newman, he wants them to run the offense. It's not just, it's good when you can create just going one-on-one and drawing defenders and dishing off, but that's not happening right now. Minnesota Prep's got the speed and athleticism to stay with them one-on-one. And there's Grant again, man. That kid.
Juwan Grant, 10 points off the bench.
That's 10 points in about 4 minutes. 4 or 5 minutes of play. Got it again.
Newman, he cue balls that thing in. It didn't look like it was going to go, but he had great spin, and that created the shooter's roll.
It just died on the back of the rim. And
that's 3 threes in the first half for Newman. Lukai Patterson into the lane. He gets it to Moore. Aaron Moore scores it.
Bless you.
Didn't expect that to happen. That came out of nowhere. Newman, no good. Maldonado with the offensive rebound. 26-24, Downey Christian on top.
Nice.
Lukai Patterson to Adrian Sprinkles.
And Patterson's been most effective getting in the lane, penetration, and dishing off. They're really cutting off his driving lanes, and so he's done a great job of finding the cutter to the basket. And, credit his teammates as well for making the cut. You've got to make the cut in order to be open.
And Patterson is not over-penetrating, which would inevitably lead to charges in that situation.
Well, he's very under control once he gets into the area. He's very comfortable down there because he knows that if they don't close on him, that he can score. If they do, he knows he can find his teammates for an open layup.
So Newman to the free throw line shooting 1 and 1. Well, did they say active shooting on that? No, it was 1 and 1. Okay. I guess the free throw looked so good nobody moved because it was perfect. Second free throw, no good.
Well, and Minnesota's made a mistake by allowing him to get a couple, he's gotten in a rhythm here.
He's in rhythm now, yes.
And once he gets in rhythm, and there's Lukai again.
Patterson.
Well,
Finger roll in the paint.
And that's what's very impressive about him is his body control once he gets down there. He's never in a hurry. He knows what he sees. He sees it before it happens, and so he's able to make good decisions once he gets down there. And very, very strong with the basketball and strong going up with it.
Patterson with the traditional three-point play. He's got 7 now, and the lead goes back to Minnesota Prep, 29-27. 3:10 to go in the first half.
Now we've got a little three-quarter court pressure.
And it creates a steal. Adrian Sprinkles.
Good.
Aaron Moore with the layup in transition.
And good body control from Moore.
Yes.
To go to his left side there away from the defense and finish on the glass.
31-27, Minnesota Prep up on Downey Christian. 2:44 left in the first half. Julian Newman into the lane, tries to dish it off to Matthew Hill. Stolen by Minnesota Prep. Jawan Grant in transition, and he is fouled. A foul committed by Eduardo Peralta. That is his second, team fourth. Jawan Grant will go to the free throw line and shoot a pair. 2:35 left in the first half. Grant already with 10.
I think it's safe to say that Coach Patterson has gotten exactly what he wanted out of Jawan Grant.
Absolutely.
Coming to the game here and really been instant offense, like you said earlier.
Well, as you said.
When I think of instant offense, well, maybe I did say that, but I think of it takes me back to the Bad Boys with Vinnie Johnson.
Vinnie
They call him the
Johnson.
microwave, and it was just because of that, because he was instant.
Oh, wow.
That's showing my age there a little bit.
A little bit, but hey, I'm right there with you. When you say instant offense, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, Microwave Johnson.
I want to say he was number 15 or something like that.
That sounds
that's
right.
just how this mind works.
That sounds
I'm
right.
telling you, it's little silly things like that have never done me any good in life, but they're in there. They're in the bank somewhere.
Hey, they
Memory
give you
bank.
credibility.
And there's
Trey
Jawan
ball,
again.
Jawan Grant, no good. Julian Newman with the rebound. Grant guarding Newman one-on-one. Newman.
Yeah, I mean, that's a foul. It's just a hold.
Yeah.
And that's Newman's stage right there. He loves that one-on-one.
Oh, they actually called that off
It's
the
on-
ball on Lukai Patterson.
Oh, wait a minute.
They
Now
called
why-
that off
so-
the ball.
So why is Julian Newman shooting the ball?
That's a good question.
I'm a little confused right now.
I'm very confused, but they clearly called Lukai Patterson. That's his
And that's
third.
what they're discussing now, is that now he's going to have to figure out who.
Okay, so, all right. So the
Okay,
foul
yeah.
is on Jawan Grant.
There you go, yeah.
All right. So that's his first.
I mean,
still the team's eighth, and Newman will still get the back end of the 1-and-1 regardless, and he makes both. But what's so critical about that is that would have been Lukai Patterson's third foul if they left it
Well,
like
that was clearly on the ball on Grant. Now I'm wondering we'll have to find this out at halftime. Wonder what the 25 is on the, unless you know that, for Minnesota Prep.
That I do not know.
I'm going to find that out at halftime.
Oh, no, I take that back. That is in honor of Lucas Patterson's brother.
Okay.
Yeah. He passed away.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm glad you brought that
God
up.
bless him.
Adrian Sprinkles just picks up his first foul, team's ninth.
So that would be Lukai's brother?
That would have been Lukai's uncle.
Uncle, okay, gotcha.
Julian Newman. He makes the first. So Newman now has 14 in the first half.
They've got him for 16 on the scoreboard. It's a great start, obviously.
Yes, and I've got him with 16 as well.
And, when you've got a score like that, when he's putting up number, I mean, I always think, that's only more for the second half. And you hate to if you're the opposing team, you don't like to let a guy like Newman get into a rhythm and let him see his shot falling. That's only danger for the rest of the game.
50 seconds left in the first half. 31-31 is our score. Lukai Patterson, tray ball, no good. Offensive rebound, Aaron Moore. He is fouled on the attempt. A foul committed by Rohan Palmer-Smith. That is his second, team fifth. And Aaron Moore to the free throw line. He makes the first. Second free throw also good by Aaron Moore. So 33-31 is our score. Minnesota Prep on top. This will likely be the final possession of the first half with the shot clock. Yes, it will be. Julian Newman working on Richard Edwards. Edwards is doing a good job of staying in front of Julian Newman.
And I was going to say, I mean, that's and he's upset, but he got away with about 4 fouls on that play.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And to give Newman credit, he's very good at
creating fouls.
Yeah, exactly. But he's kind of got that. Another one that I think of in another former Piston is Chauncey Billups.
Oh,
Billups
yeah.
is great at kind of throwing his body back to kind of, it's a little acting, but at the same time, it's just going with the contact. But when a referee, when it looks like a foul, it's a foul.
It's a foul.
And that's
Exactly.
just all there is to it. And so if you're a player that can create that and make it look like a foul, then more times than none, you're going to get the call. But he was definitely getting fouled there.
No one active is better than the beard at that.
No, you're
James
right.
Harden is in. Oh, wow. Jawan Grant from deep, deep downtown. Nothing but string music.
And that makes 13 for Grant in the half, and he really was that spark that Minnesota Prep needed.
So our score at the half is Minnesota Prep 36, Downey Christian 33. Very entertaining first half. And look for more of the same. Each team did what they do.
Right.
And the result is we got a 3-point first half. So it doesn't tell you, if you're the coach, okay, we need to do something different.
Right.
So it's just a matter of who's going to do what they do more efficiently in the second half.
And rebounding was fairly even.
Yep.
And, Downey knocks down some threes to really keep them in the game. And like you said, they do what they do. And Minnesota Prep attacks on this end and gets most of their buckets down low.
Yep.
And so, points in the paint against three-pointers. And so it's kind of equaled out here, and we've got a good game going.
So we'll take a timeout, and with about 3 minutes or so left before the start of the second half, we'll get you ready for the second half of Minnesota Prep versus Downey Christian. Diplomat Lions 36, Patriots 33. Day one, Jackson Purchase Jam grind session event brought to you by Tanager Sports. I'm Leroy Watson for Cullen Kreider. We will be back in a bit. to go before the second half begins, and our score is Minnesota Prep 36, Downey Christian 33. And at the half, leading scorer for Minnesota Prep, off the bench, Jawan Grant pumped in 13 points. He was followed by Aaron Moore with 8, Lukai Patterson 7, and 4 each for Adrian Sprinkles and Amon Decker. Downey Christian was led by a game-high 18 from Julian Newman. He was ably supported by Emmanuel Maldonado with 9, Eduardo Peralta 4, Matthew Hill 2. As Cullen Kreider mentioned before we went to the break, the rebounds are exactly even, 16 apiece, but how they got the rebounds is different. Minnesota Prep with 8 offensive rebounds and 8 defensive rebounds, whereas Downey Christian has 13 defensive rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds. So that stylistic difference, Minnesota Prep, half of their rebounds are on the offensive glass, and that's how they were able to get a lot of second chance points. So about a minute and a half left. I'm being rejoined by Cullen Kreider.
Well, and to piggyback what you just said, if the three-pointer is the great equalizer on offense, well, offensive rebounds are also an equalizer, and that's where you see the difference. Even though they've got the same amount of total rebounds, those offensive rebounds are just extra possessions, and that really makes a big difference in the outcome of the game.
So moving forward in the second half, Downey Christian will have to go on without Carlos Felix. Carlos is done for the day. The flu just has him down. And that means they're going to have to lean on Julian Newman and Emmanuel Maldonado that much more. Newman was really on fire. He hit 3 threes in the first half. That led to Minnesota Prep pushing up harder on him, and then he was able to drive, get downhill, and he went 6 out of 7 from the free throw line. 7 out of 8, from the free throw line. So Minnesota Prep is going to have to find a way to contain Julian Newman a little bit better if they want to extend this lead and pull this thing out. And Newman, conversely, is going to have to continue doing exactly what he's doing in order to keep the Patriots in this matchup. Seconds away from the start of the second half, our score is Minnesota Prep 36, Downey Christian 33.
I still haven't ran across the Wizard himself, Leroy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with
The Wizard.
with Coach Kipnis' father.
Oh,
He is the Wizard.
Okay.
And a very, very good man. And I met him a couple years ago. Very, very interesting man as well.
I did not know that that's what he was referred to
Well,
as.
I look forward to being able to catch him on one of these events. Like I said, very, very good man, very good basketball mind as well.
And Jawan Grant starts the second half. And he gets to the rim right away, and it's 38-33, Minnesota Prep. Their largest lead of the afternoon so far, 5 points. Poked away from behind by Adrian Sprinkles. Loose ball picked up by Rohan Palmer-Smith. Julian Newman with the tray ball.
And like I said, they've made a mistake by letting him see that ball go in, because he now has 21 points here early in the second half.
4 3-pointers.
Right.
Adrian Sprinkles, Trey, no good. And that's the next danger of playing against a guy like Newman. When he's making threes, it makes you want to shoot threes, so you can go 3 for 3, and that's not Minnesota Prep's game. Third foul on Aaron Moore for Minnesota Prep, and that is the first foul of the second half against the Diplomat Lions.
Now look for Newman to get the ball back here.
Oh, yeah.
That's just a good play by
Peralta, that was very smart take.
Because exactly what I'm thinking, everybody else is thinking, is that Newman's going to get the ball back. And very smart move, smart read by Peralta, because that's a read play.
Richard Edwards working hard down low for Minnesota Prep. Basket is good, and that foul is committed by Rohan Palmer-Smith. That is his third and his team's first of the second half.
And Coach Newman says what so many, again, as a fan, as when you watch games, as a coach when you watch games, just grab the ball. And by grab the ball, he just means grab it with 2 hands,
And secure
swipe it out of the air, and don't let that thing fumble around there because that's when bad things happen.
A lot of players get in the bad habit of just
One hand.
tapping it, or or trying to get it with one hand.
Wow.
Almost stolen from behind by Edwards, but that's got to be a foul. Yes. and the ref just tells him, hey, you got to quit reaching.
That's right.
That's the 3rd foul on Edwards,
And
the 2nd on Minnesota Prep.
You know, clearly Newman, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but just in a
Oh,
competitive.
he got away with a hook right there. Whoa, he hooked. Did you see him hook Jawan Grant on that one?
In a competitive way, though, Newman has a big target on his back.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's because of his publicity or.
That's definitely part of it.
Or what it is, but you know, I mean, he's got guys all over him.
He's got 21 points so far, and they're trying to slow him down by any means necessary. Adrian Sprinkles scores for Minnesota Prep, 43-38 with 14 minutes to go. Maldonado dancing around the deep right wing. Almost stripped, but Adrian Sprinkles reaches. That is his 2nd, team 3rd of the 2nd half. And Coach Lucas Patterson is trying to argue that, hey, that was a loose ball. Ref is not hearing it, not entertaining it, not answering it.
We got a lot of chatter going on here. You know, you hear which I heard it too, Coach Patterson, but I'm listening to Newman and his father. They're kind of picking at each other.
Newman floater in the lane, no good. Rebound, Richard Edwards. Jawan Grant lobs it to Adrian Sprinkles, who is fouled. He is fouled by Rohan Palmer-Smith. That is the 4th on Palmer-Smith.
And give credit to Sprinkles there for getting a shot up. You know, he could have easily come down and gotten fouled without shooting it. Instead, he gets the opportunity for 2.
And he missed the first. Downey Velgra returns to the contest for Downey Christian, replacing Rohan Palmer-Smith. Sprinkles misses both. Offensive rebound, Lukai Patterson, and then it's swiped away. I don't know who got it for Downey Christian, but it ends up in possession of Emmanuel Maldonado.
Well, and he came down with that ball with about four guys around him.
So, and I saw a couple of them swiping. I don't know who got it, but Matthew Hill got that basket. I do know that. And so the lead is 3 now, 43-40. Minnesota Prep over Downey Christian. Aaron Moore blocked. That was blocked by Velgra. Maldonado, no-look pass into the paint. Oh, that was beautiful and a great finish by Eduardo Peralta.
That was just a nice shovel pass there. No wasted dribbles with his left hand, by the way.
Yes.
I mean,
that was an extremely impressive pass.
It is. It's a difficult pass to pass with your offhand, especially when it's just a one-handed pass.
Sprinkles. The layup is good. Foul by Eduardo Peralta. That is Peralta's 3rd. That is Downey Christian's 3rd of the 2nd half. And so Sprinkles, who just missed 2 free throws, redeems himself with that layup and finish. And he missed another free throw. Sprinkles 0 for 3 from the free throw line in the 2nd half. Maldonado picking his way into the lane. He gets it to Velgra, stolen. I think Edwards got that. And Sprinkles will finish on the other end. Give the assist to Lukai Patterson.
Downey, they're trying to score with too much traffic around. You know, kick that ball out.
Newman, long 3. Bank was closed for him that time.
And just like you said with the trickle effect of 3-pointers being made, when bad shots are taken, a lot of times that results in other bad shots. And so that's what you're seeing from Downey Christian right now. Jawan Grant capitalizes in the corner with the 3.
In the short corner. So Grant with 18, and Minnesota Prep goes to their largest lead, 50-42. Looks like a 30-second timeout. So we'll stay here. Minnesota Prep up by 8, 50-42, Cullen. And I sense this is a dangerous time for Downey Christian. They don't want this thing to get out of hand. Now, they've got guys who can fill it up in a hurry. Maldonado, Newman. but still,
Well, but they've got to depend on each other instead of depending on individual play. You know, they've had some just individual shots, one-on-one, not moving the ball around. You've got to move the ball around, share the basketball, and you'll create open looks.
so Downey Christian trying to regroup, down 8. It's still manageable, and there is forever to go. Wow, he threw a howitzer there right off the chest of Matthew Hill, and Jawan Grant scores on the other end. He's got 20 off the bench.
And I'm telling you what, and a very, very efficient 20. I mean,
yes.
the kid hasn't played but probably 12 minutes.
Newman, he gently passes it to Matthew Hill that time, and Hill converts. But I heard that ball come off of Hill's chest. I do not know why on the previous possession Newman threw it that hard. So this time he took a little vinegar off and he got the assist. Tray ball no good by Lukai Patterson. Comes Downey Christian, trailing by 8, 52-44. Newman to Peralta, short. Grant with the rebound. Adrian Sprinkles, one to beat. Acrobatic layup around Emmanuel Maldonado.
Well, and that's something that Downey has done ineffectively as well. They're allowing Minnesota Prep to get most of their buckets now in transition.
Maldonado gets the shooter's roll.
And that's about as close as it can come to hitting the for these goals, it's a white pole up there. I mean, it's very close to hitting that pole, and that would have knocked off that basket.
Adrian Sprinkles having a load of a second half. He's already got 10. He's got 14 for the contest. And he pushes that lead back to 9, 56-47. Newman, wow, he got bounced on that one.
Well, and Jawan Grant did a perfect job. See, that's why I say that, because that wasn't on Grant. That was on 34.
Decker.
Or he said 32, excuse me.
Right.
But Jawan Grant with a great steal there. It's just the foul came from the other defender.
If Decker would have just walled up,
Yep.
it would have been going the other way in transition. That is the 4th foul of the second half on Minnesota Prep. Baseline for the Downey Christian Patriots. Maldonado, deep left wing. Fakes handoff to Newman. Goes baseline, and he coaxed it in.
He's gonna get a technical for that as well.
Yeah. You can't talk to the ref like that. Sorry. And I don't know exactly what he said, but
he was just asking for a foul.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it's the way you ask for
the
it.
way, yes.
And he was doing the same thing earlier on a call, and so, you know, they'll, especially in this circuit, they'll allow a little more chatter than usual. But you can't go too far.
And it's one thing to lobby for a call, and it's another thing to suggest that the refs don't know how to do their job. And I think probably what he said went that way. 10:06 left in the contest. Minnesota Prep makes both technical free throws, and that's Richard Edwards scores at the rim. So now they're trying to put some room between themselves. 60-49 is our score.
That was a great big-to-big look there from Decker, though. He just pivots, faces the basket, what you're supposed to do when you catch there at the elbow. Face the basket, good cut.
Rudy Tahir with his first foul and the 5th foul against Minnesota Prep in the second half. Newman being guarded by Rudy Tahir. Tahir, he got his leg in there.
Once you get your knees into the defender, then that's it. It's going to be called.
Yep.
And again, they even allow it to go a little further than they normally do. The officials do, but I mean, you can't. I mean, it's like I said with Newman, they're just all over him. And again, he creates a lot of that. So, but at the same time, I mean, a foul is a foul.
It is, no question. And to his credit, he's got 21 points. I think that speaks for itself. He knows people are going to be physical with him every day. Maldonado into the lane. Floater, no good. Tip by Peralta, no good. Rudy Chahir gets it to Adrian Sprinkles. And Sprinkles, who missed a
he's
dunk
gonna
in the
get a
first
technical
half,
as well.
didn't miss that one.
Yep.
And then he gets a tech for hanging on the rim.
Well, it's going to be for not really a kick, but at the same time, kind of wrapping his leg around the other, around Peralta's, who it was.
And the ref is making it very clear to Coach Lucas Patterson that that is a technical foul every time. Newman makes the first free throw. Coach Lucas Patterson asking for a replay.
Well, and I'll definitely side with the official on that one. That was intentional,
And
if you ask me.
Newman
It wasn't anything
makes the
too
second.
harmful, but it was. It's just it's basically like a taunting call. I mean, and that's what it was. I've got no issue with that call whatsoever.
62-51, the lead is 11. Downey Christian retains possession after the techs. Newman calling for a screen.
Now that's what you like to see.
Emmanuel Maldonado, no good. Rudy Tahir with the long rebound. Comes Adrian Sprinkles, Euro step, no good. Lukai Patterson, offensive rebound and tip.
And what I was saying, I like to see Newman pass out of that instead of holding onto the ball. I think a lot of times he does hold on to it a little too long. I was going to say, I thought he'd shoot that, but.
Floater from the free throw line, and it's good.
I knew he'd shoot it eventually. Once he had that look.
64-53, Minnesota Prep on top. 8:28 to go in the contest. Lukai Patterson into the lane, stops, pops to Amon Decker. What a block.
And Decker was late there.
Matthew Hill.
Lukai had him set up for a layup.
Yep.
He was just late on the cut. And that's what shows where cutting and knowing how to move without the basketball is so important, because he could have had a layup there. Instead, he was a couple steps late.
Adrian Sprinkles on the inbound play.
How's that happen? Get in front of him. KJ, get in front. What y'all doing?
Eduardo Peralta picks up his fourth foul. And that's the team's fifth of this half.
Y'all better wake up.
And Sprinkles misses yet another free throw. He's 0 for 4 from the line. Amon Decker called for his fourth foul. And that's the team's eighth. And so Downey Christian will go to the line. Number 21, Eduardo Peralta, will go to the free throw line, shoot 1 and 1. He makes the first. 66-54, Minnesota Prep up by 12. 8:08 left in the game.
And something I'm just noticing here, I don't know why it's taking me this long, but each team only dresses, it looks like 8 and 9, respectively. Downey Christian has 8, and Minnesota Prep dresses 9. So very slim benches for each team. So they, very short rotation as far as playing time for these guys.
That foul on Wilfred Diaz, his first, team 6th.
That'll put next team foul for Downey Christian will put Minnesota Prep in the bonus as well. So
Lukai Patterson, baseline tray ball is good.
Stop going to that corner.
Patterson with 14.
Stop going to
69-55, the lead is 14, largest of the contest for either team. Maldonado into the lane, floater, no good.
and Sprinkles, he gets out on that run
Oh,
out.
so fast. He knows what to do when he's out there.
Yeah, he's been
20 points for Adrian Sprinkles.
Yeah, most of them have come just like that in
Yep.
transition, where he's kind of leaking out a little bit. We used to call that snowbirding.
Reverse layup is good. Matthew Hill. So Minnesota Prep up by 14, 71 to 57.
Grab the ball.
6:52 left in the contest. A foul is committed by number 23, Matthew Hill, his first, team 7th. And so going to the line, shooting 1-1 will be Lukai Patterson. He makes it. McCoy Mangold into the contest for the first time today for Minnesota Prep. Patterson misses the second. Manuel Maldonado. He is fouled by Rudy Tahir. That is his third. Team 9th.
Well, and I think Minnesota Prep needs to understand now that, look, you know, that with this much time left, it's getting into that area. You want to stop fouling. If it's unnecessary fouls like that.
Right.
You know, I
Right.
mean, that's the only way to stop the clock. It's the only way for, not the only way for Downey to get back in it. Of course, they can shoot the basketball very well, but you're only increasing their chances when you stop the clock and giving them free points. Throw it up. Yep.
James Flippin. Assist will go to Okoye Mangold.
Good tip there by Mango. Very smart. He knew he couldn't grab it, so he just tipped it out.
Lukai Patterson and caught for the offensive foul. That is his fourth. Oh, okay, excuse me. His third. And team's 10th. Player control, so no free throws will be shot. 74-59, the lead is still 15. Downey Christian basketball, however.
Nice.
Okoye Mangold, coast to coast. Showing off his length and diversity.
Good hands.
Stolen
Active
by
hands.
Richard Edwards. Lukai Patterson off the glass.
Whoa.
He was trying to get it to Okoye Mangold. He should have just gone ahead and taken it himself. Mangold wasn't ready.
I like the look, but
I like it if the
as
player
far
is
as-
prepared.
Yeah, as far as I think he kind of. You saw Steph Curry do this last week. He was about to go up for a dunk, which he rarely ever does, but he slipped, and I think that's what Mango did. I think he was about to go up off 2 feet, and he slipped.
And how many 30-second timeouts are we going to get
I
today,
know
Colin?
Hardly any full timeouts that we've seen today, only 1 or 2. We like to take a break too, you know. I mean,
Exactly. Well, they're supposed to get 3 fulls and 2 30s, and that seems like the 5th 30-second timeout that was
I
called.
think a lot of times those 30s are just used as breathers. I think they,
Right,
you know,
right.
they just want their guys to catch their breath a little bit.
So 5:24 left in the contest. Minnesota Prep up by 15, 76-61 on Downey Christian.
All the way up.
Tray ball is short by James Flippin, and the rebound goes to Matthew Hill.
Now they've got to convert here.
Got
You
2
had-
and reverse layup is good.
You had 3 guys, which is
Going right for the ball.
kind of mind-boggling to me, but you had 3 guys from Minnesota Prep trapping the basketball all the way down at the end of the floor. That's not,
Standing there.
I'm sorry, but that's not very smart move to try there.
Agreed.
Now, Minnesota Prep has to be careful here. It almost looks like they're playing as if the game's over.
Yep.
And, you know,
Total
you get a
agreement.
couple buckets here, but they don't convert. Nice.
Lukai Patterson.
You take a guard like Patterson who, you know, with his size and his body frame, he understands very well pace, rhythm to his game. Is very, very intelligent. And again, we already spoke about his body control once he gets there to put it up. Soft touch when he gets around the rim, great body control, great pace. It's a very solid guard. And he's very solid in more than one way.
Yep. 78-63. Minnesota Prep continued to lead by 15. That was a good shot, just didn't quite go down for Patterson.
Come on, man. Wake up, dude. Come on.
Maldonado off the window. Manuel Maldonado now has 19 points, 10 in the second half.
That's Juwan Grant, great steal.
Lukai Patterson lobs it to Okoye Mangold.
That was good defense there.
It was.
You know, right here in front of us, we see that the separation that Newman can create with that little sidestep.
Maldonado.
I bet Newman's done that move
Oh.
hundreds of thousands of times.
Yes.
Hey, stop over. Let's go. It's only 12.
Julian Newman.
Wilford. Hey, Julie, right there. Wilford, man. Go. Hey, he gets it. Not him, not him.
2:22 left in the contest.
And Coach Newman recognizes here, you know, he's telling him it's only 12. And that's what I was saying, you know, with about 4 minutes to go. You know, it was only in that 12, 14 range that if they put together a stretch here, they could easily, well, not easily, but they could get back into this game and make it close.
.205 left in the game, 18 seconds left on the shot clock.
Why is he taking it out?
13 seconds left on the shot clock.
Nice.
Oh, yes, it was. Oh! They are missing point blank shots at the rim, Colin. And Julian Newman. What a circus shot. Second foul on flipping. And Colin, I'm a strong believer. Either you can do that or you can't.
Right.
No one can teach you that. You know, he just made the best out of a bad situation. He's fallen to the floor. He might have been fouled. They didn't call that. He just wanted to get the ball on rim to give himself a chance, and we see how that worked out.
It's like I said earlier, though, that floater type of shot is just, it's all about touch. And, you know, you think about it, there's not a lot of guys, even in the NBA, that have that good touch around the rim like that. And
That's true.
And the guys that do are usually
Sprinkles.
not even the best shooters. You know, like
Right.
guys that I mentioned earlier, like Rondo and Parker was okay, but they're not known for their outside shooting at all. A lot of times that shot's a knuckleball,
Yep.
you know, because it dies on the rim like that. That's just, again, all about touch. right here. Just too late.
Peralta.
You know, that's the thing about basketball. You know, like if it's a dribble too late or 2 dribbles too late, like it doesn't sound like much, but that's way too late.
Yep.
You know, if you waste any dribbles at all, especially at this level and higher, higher levels, that one dribble is a difference between a dunk and a turnover.
Yep. It really is. And Maldonado, ball, gets it to Rohan. Maldonado, no good. Rebound, up and in, Matthew Hill. 43.2 seconds left. And another 30 seconds.
Yep.
I don't get it all be
I think
gone now.
they're forced into a 4 here because they're out of 30s.
Okay.
Is what's going on.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Although Downey Christian doesn't realize that yet.
82-72 is our score. So we'll take probably our last break of this game with 43.2 seconds left in the contest. We hope you are enjoying the 2019 Jackson Purchase Jam live from the Eagles Nest in Graves County, Kentucky. I'm Leroy Watson. For my color guy, Cullen Kreider, we will be right back. Try as they might, it just doesn't look like the Patriots are going to mount enough of a rally to catch Minnesota Prep. A foul on Julian Newman, his first. 8th on Downey Christian. So Jawan Grant, who has had a splendid game, he's got 20, will go to the line and shoot a pair. Well, shoot 1 and 1.
Get in, June. Too late. Because you're the closest one there.
And he missed it. The rebound down to Eduardo Peralta. Newman blocked by Lukai Patterson. Loose ball is saved by Richard Edwards. Up front to Juwan Grant. They get down low to Adrian Sprinkles, who has really been putting in work in the second half. Sprinkles with 20 in the second half, Cullen.
24 for the game. Yeah, he's been
Maldonado
huge.
misses that tray.
They've all been like that, too, all in transition.
And now he passes one off to his teammate, Amon Decker, for the layup. Tray ball no good at the buzzer. And our final will be Minnesota Prep 86 and Downey Christian 72. And so, hey. And after much deliberation, player of the game is Adrian Sprinkles with 22 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, and a block. So we'll get Adrian in here for the post-game interview in just a moment. But congratulations to Minnesota Prep on a fantastic performance and a 14-point win over Downey Christian. So we'll let Cullen get ready for that. And meanwhile, I'm going to go and start picking up rosters so we can prepare for our next game of the afternoon. That'll be the Balboa School out of California versus Tennessee Prep.
Nice. All right, and I'm here with the player of the game, Adrian Sprinkles. Adrian, most of your points coming in the second half. I think you had 20 in the second half, and most of those points are actually coming in transition. Explain, was that part of at least the game plan in your head to get out in transition and to get those buckets against a team that was, you had the size advantage there?
Yeah. I just felt like in the first half, like I wasn't doing too much. So the second half, I realized that they, like on defense, they weren't really getting back. They were trying to board up on offense. So I just felt like if I just leaked out, then it would be easy for us to get buckets in transition.
4 steals in the game as well. Explain your defensive mentality and your intensity there on the defensive end.
Yeah, in the first half, my offense wasn't like my main key. From the second half, I realized that my coach told me my defense is my best offense. So if I just get to getting steals and working on defense, then that'd be my best offense.
Defense leads the offense, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations, good game this afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right.
All right, thank you.
All right, man. All right, we got another game coming up. It looks like the Diplomats from Tennessee Prep, and they'll be tipping off in about 8.5 minutes. We'll be back with that action here next on the Grind Session on YouTube.